Hello and welcome to today's stream, where, by your choice, by viewer choice, you have voted that we will be building the Xi Gundam with a little halo. And that's weird. 1 minute. Oh, wait, 1 second. Sorry for hitting the mic. Zaza, your message did not come through on YouTube, but it came through on Twitch, on Streamlabs. I haven't heard about Wikipedia. Ooh. I don't know why that was censored by YouTube, but thanks YouTube for being a jerk to my chat. There you are. Okay, I don't know why. Okay, no, it's OBS censored you. What the? That's just weird. To be fair, Wikipedia, if it was a court in the UK, those things are absolutely absurdist and pretty illegitimate, in all honesty. But what we're going to start with today is always just looking at what we have to build. But we're going to do a lot of prep today because there's a lot to this mech. And welcome Zaza as well as anyone else who may be watching. I'm going to try to start earlier. Because we've been starting at 9, but traditionally my time has been 8. There's going to be so much. I think we're going to keep it simple and just do black panel liner, but I'm a little partial to the idea of blue just because how kind of colorless this mech is. If you're familiar with the novelization, or the original novel, not novelization, the design is a lot cleaner and has a lot more color in the novel. We won't be customizing it to look like the novel, but I kind of wish that they didn't change it so much, because this design looks good, and this design is good. It's just that whenever I see the novel version, I'm just like, why couldn't they make it look like that? Hold up, I do have Gundam Blue. On the scale of 1 to 10, how do you think the UK censorship and YouTube of the 13 this week will backfire hard on them because bad karma? Well, sadly, I don't believe in karma. Ooh. As the story of Job says, you know, the wicked may prosper under the Lord. Ooh. I don't believe in karma, though I wish it was real for situations like this. But also, karma can be an excuse not to take action yourself. Though, if you are in a country, you should reach out to your local elected officials, because you're probably in a democratic country, because that's just the popular thing right now. If you're in the US, reach out to your representatives. If you're in the UK, reach out to your politicians. Like a lot of times politicians don't even know what's going on in the government, which you might be like, that's stupid. That's literally how it's been going for most of history, to be honest. We have a high-grade Drayson Unicorn version, and sounds nice. Let me get out. Ooh, do I have? I hope I didn't lose the brush I need. No, but I might need some pomade to reset the tip. I'm gonna try. To go for the custom colorization. I think the blue will be dark enough to substitute it, to substitute the black with it. I was gonna look here to see what color this is supposed to be. Not supposed to be any color, so we might fill in the vacant spaces with blue and see how that looks before filling in the rest. Filling in the panel lines. It's probably gonna be a bit of a longer prep, and I have no idea where any of my supplies are. There they are. Well, no, I don't. I got out my supply kit, and neither of the sprue cutters I use for high grades are in there, so that's not good. I'll get to that chat in a second. Let me just... My sprue cutters. It's gonna be very annoying to try to paint this without them. On the bright side, the new rule of banking systems are screwing Visa and MasterCard, so they can't excuse their feelings. Yeah, that executive order was good, and there's actually a representative from Kentucky who's just like pushing that the executive order should be law, so it can be codified, and you know, just be like, yeah, no, you can't just be like, oh, they're a brand risk, you know, like, no, you can't just be vague and deny banking. So that is a very good bright side. How did I lose my sprue cutters before stream? That's a new level of mess up. Good thing we're doing prep today, but misplaced my sprue cutters. Why is my electric pen up there? Why is anything where it is right now? Everything is in the wrong place. You know what I'm willing to bet? Yep. I was just thinking, I'm willing to bet, sorry for saying this while turning away from the mic, that my sprue cutters were in the box for our last build, the master grade F91. But not all of my, but only this sprue cutter, which is even more confusing. Let's get this off the sprue. Hello, Ivan. I don't know why I pronounced your name. I don't know why I put emphasis on the Bon. I hear the bootleg version, 144th Penelope Gundams, have more detail than the... That's usually the case. The bootlegs have more than the official. It's kind of like... What am I looking for? It's a bit like Transformers in that case, but often it's because also they're a bit higher price and they're more niche. I'm actually kind of happy this high grade doesn't have as much detail as it does in the show, or movie rather, because I feel like it's a little too busy in the film. And I don't like cutting it directly off the sprue, but I don't have my pre-cutter nips. I just don't know where they are. There we go. Okay. And we need the pen. Some of these I do just want to do traditional panel liner. Like these little dotted points right here. If there's a little overflow, we can just clean that up. Not like the paint, which is a little harder to deal with. Let's get our brush. Let's get some water in here. I have water. Yes, I do. Sadly, my head's in the way. Actually, one weird thing that happened recently, still technically ongoing, but a bunch of, like, people cheated at the new not new Call of Duty, sorry, the new Battlefield. Ooh. A bunch of people were cheating at the new Battlefield and then showing it off, and they're just like, no, I just have a really fast reaction time. But when you watch the videos, they're snapping to targets, there's never over aim, which is when you go to a target and you go past them a little. That never happens, it's just snap. Like even when I do that, you can see how there's a bit of a shake in my hand. That's because physics means that there's a bit of an equal and opposite reaction. So the faster you go, there's going to be a bit of a da-da when you get to the end point, no matter what. But they're not. It's just going from here to here without pause. Like when they're targeting people, and they're just like, I just have really good muscle control. It's like that's not how humans work. But also, like, the biggest thing is they keep shooting at people who are, like, behind walls that they don't know are behind those walls. And it's like, well, that's very obviously cheating. Ow! When did that happen? Oh, crap. Damn it. That's annoying. I just got this messy. See if I can clean it off somehow. Oh, hello, Opus. Welcome, welcome. Good evening to you, my good sir. Thinking of the bootleg Hyakushiki 140. I don't like the matte high grade Hyakushiki. If the bootleg's better, I might have to look into that. Part brand. It's I need to move the mouse. Ooh, but it's mustard yellow. I like mustard, though. Oh! It was down there for some reason. Could have done a lot more setup before today's stream, but I wanted to see if I could start at 8 still, was the big thing. Cheating in Battlefield 6? What a loser. I understand, like, in single-player games, it's like, you know, playing on easy mode, but, like, when you're playing with, like... And again, that's only, like, if you're doing it like you're playing on easy mode. If you use cheats to actually beat the game legitimately, you didn't beat the game legitimately. I'm talking about, like, you've beaten the game and you want to go back, and you just want to have, like, you know, you just want to mess around. Like, I can understand that, because that's effectively, like, that's just mods at that point. But in multiplayer games, it is kind of just like, what are you doing? Why are we doing this? Using hack with a javelin shooting, like, the machine gun without reload. Jesus Christ. I am looking for a blade. That's what I'm looking for. But I don't remember where I keep my replacement blades. Everything is unraveling. This is why I don't start at 8 anymore. Everything is just unraveled. I have no X-Acto blade for my X-Acto knife. I just don't know where it is. That game is that game I was telling you about, the Axe Razor, has music a lot like this piece.
Oh, really?
Xi Gundam is basically a flying squirrel. Yeah, I can see that. Ooh, the Memo Xi Gundam, yeah. Yeah, it like its shoulder pads extend out, and it's just like it's being propelled like Doritos. The guy who does the Game Awards would cry at the beauty of it. Give me 1 second. Hopefully I can use these instead of having to sand off the part that we painted. So hopefully we can just kind of scrape off the paint and it's just surface level. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Kind of funny because we're gonna have to use the sanding anyways. Okay. I actually ordered some polishers from off Amazon, and for some reason, I was a little confused because I ordered them last week, and I was like, where are they? I looked at Amazon, it's like, oh, they're not coming until, like, next month, and I don't know if that's because of, like, the trade deals that are going on or what, but that confused the hell out of me. Champagne gold color looks real nice on the Hyaku Shiki bootleg, or the electric gold plated Hyaku Shiki. Thing is with the gold plated ones is that if you cut it off the sprue and like you can't clean up sprue marks is like a big problem with the gold plated stuff. Everything has to be undergated, which it often isn't. Okay. Wrong size brush for this, it's too small. So I am liking the flash of... I already like how this blue is giving it a little bit more. Old Hyaku Shiki is electric gold plated, but the revived version is mustard. I have the revived version. I'm more disappointed by the fact that it won't stand up on its own 2 feet. That's what disappoints me about the Hyaku Shiki. What if Rick Diaz was never... What if the Rick Diaz was never named that, but instead it's still called the Gamma Gundam? How would the timeline and change in terms of Gundam alloy? I wonder why it was originally called it. I'm just more concerned about why it was originally called that. Okay. So we are just only going to be doing prep this stream, it looks like, and there it is. Come on, be a pal. Come on. Okay, there we go. Oh, really? It was based off of the Gundam Data and Rick Dom together. Huh. I did not know that. I did not know that part of the lore. Yakushiki Michael Jackson confirmed. I don't think one of its hands is white, though. Too bad the high grade Rick Diaz, Red Revive, and Dark. Oh, those are P-Band. God. Is like there a normal Rick Diaz that's not Revive? Like, I've never seen a I didn't even know that there was a Revive Rick Diaz to begin with. Is it only the red one, or is it just the or is there only a Revive Red? I would take the Rick Diaz in its original colors. What else did he say? Oh, both of the I actually missed that when I read it. Both the red and the blue are both P-Bandai. Why would you make a Revive? That's actually really stupid, having a Revive be a P-Bandai. That's really dumb. That's silly. That's just silly. Takes forever to set up tape, chat, but worth it, because then worth it if you ain't got the stablest of hands. There we go. Not going into there, is it? No, it's not. But I am set on making these blue. Okay, I got rid of the overflow. Oof. At least the master grade Rick Diaz's aren't black. I mean, aren't black. Aren't P-Bandai. They are black. I've seen a master grade Rick Diaz myself. I'm almost 100% certain of that one. Unless I'm getting it confused with a Gyaradoga. I'm going to get the Robot Spirit Action Tiger for both color of the Rick Diaz, and there's no bootleg Revive version. Oh my goodness. I just realized my... Okay, I'm sorry, I just realized my music's really loud still. I forgot to turn it down for stream. I'm sorry about that. That was probably really competing in audio. I'm very sorry about that. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so the master grade Rick Diaz is good. That's good to hear. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Oh god. I just remembered that they announced that there's going to be a Homestuck cartoon. And the only thing I know about Homestuck is that autistic girls on Tumblr really liked it. That's the only thing I really know about that series. And I'm kind of worried it's just going to be like pseudo self-aware autistic snark. And if that's the case, I'm really not looking forward to it if that is what it is. Still legible. Still audible is the word you're looking for. Ooh. I'm still legible, okay? My handwriting, the music did not affect the quality of my handwriting. Don't worry, chat. You might not be able to hear me, but you can still read me. The Stark Jagan 2. Also, why did the music stop? Thank you. Stark Jagan 2. I don't really have any opinion on it past the Jagan, and I think the Jagan itself is pretty cool. Ooh. So, I think it's cool. unless I'm misremembering it, it has like a very different design. It's still mostly the same thing if I remember correctly. Stark Jagan is nice, especially the Master Grade. Too bad the Master Grade version is Of course it is! There's the Camo Jagan that I don't know if it's still available, but the Camo Jagan was available on P Bandai last week. If it's still available, I might get it. The Camo Jagan does look pretty cool, I have to say. There we go. Ooh, same difference. I've seen a Master Grade Jagan. And maybe I should get that. Jagan pretty cool when they got their ass kicked hard in F9. Yeah, they had Char's counterattack where they did pretty good for themselves, and then it's just like, okay, time to get wrecked again. Ooh. The GM Spartan. Whenever I think about that, I always find it kind of funny that Gundam fans will insist it is the sole and whole inspiration for Master Chief's design, because they're both green and called Spartan. But it always is funny to me, because for one thing, the art for there's only one piece of art for the GM Spartan at the time that Halo came out, and it wasn't even available in the West, the piece of art. Ooh. So whenever people are like, it's the only inspiration, it's like, firstly, you need to see ViFam. ViFam is a bigger inspiration to the design of Master Chief than the GM is. Ooh. Like, literally, the helmet for Master Chief is lifted directly from ViFam. And secondly, yes, we all know Master Chief was inspired by mecha. But it wasn't just one mecha. It's like the Alien franchise is inspired by other Alien films, but it's not just one movie. It's not just one story. Yeah. If you think that reminds you of Master Chief, as I said, look up ViFam. That's VIFAM. Ooh, the helmet is almost identical to Master Chief's helmet in the first game. That's pretty cool that they have different colors. Hello, Fat. This sounds weird. There's the high grade Gamma Gundam, which is the Rick Diaz variant, which is, of course, it's also P Band. Everything is P Bandai. Could you imagine if Games Workshop though had a equivalent to P Bandai? They might, but God, that'd be like. Imagine P Bandai, but the prices are even more expensive somehow. Ooh, but also the kits are like 1,000 times worse. Not to say GW makes bad kits, but if they made a P Bandai, they'd make the kits for that purposely bad because it's GW. The people who make Warhammer 40k. Let's get the paint out. Well, yeah, I mean, those reminding you of Evangelion makes sense because they were designed by the same guy who did the Ava designs. Ooh. That version is from Build Divers. Okay, so maybe it's just the specific version that's P Bandai. Okay. When I take off this tape, it's either gonna look real good or real bad, chat. Do you believe? I think for the normal panels, we're just gonna go with black, mostly because that's just gonna be a lot quicker. But I am happy to at least do something a little more than just use fill panel liner. There we go. Oh, that looks nice. Believe. I don't know why that made me think of this, but I love how one of the most important characters to the end of Dragon Ball is the comedic relief character Hercule. Because at the end of Dragon Ball Z rather, at the end of Dragon Ball Z, when they have to do like the Universal Spirit Bomb, Goku's literally goes to the people of Earth and goes like, hey, people of Earth, I need your energy so I can defeat the ultimate evil. And they're like, I don't know you. You ain't getting none of my energy. And it's just like, you just have to put your hands in the air and think about giving me some energy. It's not going to affect you negatively in any way. I don't think I want to. I don't trust this dude speaking to me through my brain hole. And then Hercule, Mr. Satan himself, comes on through the, like, you know, telepathy. And he's like, do it. Your main man Hercule wants you to do it. You can trust this, like, you can trust this dude talking to you through your brain hole. And everyone's like, yeah, I can trust this dude because the champ told me we can. Yeah, that is very true. Warhammer is a rich person hobby. Ooh. A bit too ritzy for me. That's actually that was actually the deciding factor for me to go into Gunpla, was the fact that I just looked at the prices in 40K and I was like, I can't afford that. It was just a harsh reality. I was like, there's no way I can afford that. Then I am happy with all the panel lining on this kit. The past few kits have been a little bit lighter on the panel lining. So getting a kit that's finally a little heavy on the panel lining again is just a nice change of pace. Though to be fair, those kits were based off of older designs. Ooh, I actually liked the gun cannon in GQ. Ooh, I know on P Bandai right now, I don't know if it's like a P Bandai or... Because P Bandai is also selling just things that aren't premium Bandai, but it's like early pre-orders is effectively how they are. But on P Bandai, they've been doing some of the GQ kits for early pre-orders. And the white and blue version of the gun cannon is up there right now, and I don't know if I'm gonna order it. Ooh. I kind of like how the gun cannon in that show looks with the Gundam colors. Even though it's on screen for like 15 seconds, like the Gundam is. It's worth getting? Okay. Ooh. I'll put that down. I'm a big fan of the gun cannon in general because I like shoulder cannons. Ooh, third-party model kits getting better is overall a good thing because it means that Bandai has to do better. Ooh, or it's going to hurt their bottom line. But then again, this is a Japanese company, so they might just get litigious if they have to. However, a lot of these third-party companies are not located in Japan. They'll be located in, like, China or something. So, they might not be able to get litigious with them. That's true, it's the light cannon, not the gun cannon. But it's effectively just the GQ's version of the gun cannon. Is this called the light cannon because it only has one cannon instead of two on each shoulder? I think the one that has two cannons is still called the gun cannon. I think it's just the one that only has one shoulder cannon is called the light cannon. Gundam Assemble coming next year. Oh, you look into that. Favorite thing about the about the poor type is how easy it is to clean up. All looks so hideous right now with all the overflows, but you get a little bit of lighter fluid. Yeah, okay, I know where that is. Get a little bit of lighter fluid, put on a paper towel, and just make a surface level wipe off, and it's all gone. Fill this in and this in. Don't care about overflow. God, even his head is going to be bigger than the F91. It's going to be fun to compare him to the F91 when we're done with him. Both the high grade and the master grade, because this guy's probably going to be the biggest biggest high grade I have outside of the Nightingale. Though he might be taller than the Nightingale. Planning to make the first fully painted Land Roadie. Oh, Land Roadie with the Tekkaden paint job. With the... Oh, okay, with the cream color. Wasn't that available? Ooh. Yeah, isn't that its own high grade? Orange, gray legs, and... That reminds me, you talking about the white paint job. That reminds me of the Monkey Roadie. That's also supposed to be due. Based on the Man Roadie and getting the legs with the IBO. You're getting the legs from the IBO. Oh, so you're making it custom. That's... Because I know that it was available as its own high grade, but you're just gonna be like, nah, I'll just make it myself. Neo Zeong is the big... That's true, the Neo Zeong is the biggest kit, I think, just in general. Ooh. This is going to be my biggest high grade. Well, again, outside of the Nightingale. That's also... I thought that one was... I didn't know that one was also P-Band. I thought that one was standard release. I'm sorry. Christ alive. Cannon looks, oh, Sayla Cannon looks so nice, but, is P-Bandai, I want it so badly, the pose. Okay, so, I thought that was just, I didn't think that was P-Bandai, I thought that one, everything is P-Bandai, I should just accept everything's P-Bandai. I thought that one was just early pre-orders, like the, because on P-Bandai they also had the, they had the GQ up for pre-order as well. They had the high grade, they had the purple Gundam, which I forget what it's called. The core fighter of the light gun cannon, Wait, the cannon is part of the core fighter in the in the light cannon? Oh, that's so lopsided. So it looks like, I forget what it's called, but that one tank. I forget what it's called, but the one tank that the Gundam fused with in the anime, I imagine it looks like that, but with only one cannon and smaller. Light cannon is a mass production version of the gun cannon, so you think it won't have the core fighter and reduced costs of mass production to fight the Zeon, especially the Gundam got stolen? Ooh, probably not. Yeah, G-Fred. Gfred. I love how it's like, GQ, that's a really weird name. Well, here's the Fred. God, I love Gundam names. I love the unintentionally silly sounding names in Gundam. Because it's in English, like in Japanese it's just like whatever, it just sounds like whatever. But in English, sometimes it sounds like words you're familiar with. Ooh, like the Psycho System sounds really cool in Japanese, but then you hear Psycho System in English and you're like, heh, that sounds like they're crazy people. And then they make it the Psykamu System and you're like, I preferred it when it's just called when it's just everyone who had who used any kind of psychic abilities in their suits were just called psychos. That was just really funny. Yes, the G-Fred or the girlfriend. Have the ears and yeah, it has like little pointy ears on it. I forgot about that. Oh my god. No. The Freddy Fazbear is the one that was like made out of like an aquatic mobile suit, and that's in like custom build fighters. I can't believe there's a giant teddy bear mobile suit, but you know what? It kind of just shows in build fighters the sky's the limit. Ooh, let's get this. Oh, this is gonna have to be cleaned up so much. Now let's get... What color? Oh, goodness. Okay. I was gonna ask what color these should be, but again, they're not filled in. Let me look at the box art, because that is visible on the box art, and they're not filled in. But those are yellow. We can use Gundam paint to fill those in. Ooh. So I think this has stickers. Oh, it's actually orange. Nah, I'll just paint it yellow. I want to see how well I can do a double coat of yellow on this. I've done the Zazabi with the yellow paint. I want to see how it would look on this. Hot take, Chara should have stolen the G cannon instead of the arcs. He should have stolen it because it's red, but he can paint it red, and that's more of an insult to the Federation. Also, the G cannon wasn't out there. G cannon. I mean, that's not technically incorrect, but the gun cannon. Gun cannon is also one of those names that in Japanese you don't blink with, but in English you're like... You kind of notice how redundant that name sounds. But that's not what the gun in Gundam's supposed to mean, except maybe it is. Still waiting for GQ version of the GOG and Harambe. I thought I read that as Harambe at first, and I had to stop myself. Is Harambe canon to Gundam? We know the moon landing is. Ooh. But then after that, it gets a little hazy up until the first war. See here. It might take a while. Oh, I can paint all those in blue. That's gonna take forever. God, I'm gonna have to do some of this prep off stream even. Gun cannon is the go. Gun cannon was actually one of the earliest gunplay I built. The revive. Let's see here. Which one of you is smaller? You are 5. You are 3. But you're all frayed. Also, welcome, Amp. Can you imagine if the Federation only lost the gun tank and the gun cannon and there only had the RX-78 and Zaku 2 training dummy left to use on that would be interesting. That's all the data they had left. It would be a different GM as a result. I got this out to paint this part right here. Wow, that overflowed horrendously. I'm gonna have to clean that up. Okay. I can do more work on that. I was gonna say it would have a mono eye, but I'm pretty sure like all gyms technically have mono eyes under their visors. Ooh. It's just that they have a visor to hide their mono eye. I know at least some versions of the gym have mono eyes. I know the Jagan has a mono eye. Come on. There we go. There we go. GM head, Zaku 2 body, arms, and thicker. I don't know if you can get thicker Zaku legs, to be honest. Ooh. I say that, and then I just remember that the Rick Dom is a thing. Say what you like about Xeon, but they like their mechs thick. Gonna have to use black paint to fill in that last part. Chat, do you think I should fill these? I think I should fill these in as yellow. What do you think? Actually, these might have stickers to go in there. Not sure if they do. And then a little bit more panel liner needed for this. The ZZ, he would stand for Zeta Zaku. Ooh. Not an anime! I will never get over the fact that the silliest Gundam opens with them just going, not an anime! Everything you see is real. And it's like, of all the Gundams to open like that. I don't think I've seen it with a Dom with extra big skirt armor. Is the Gundam Thunderbolt, a fraction used the GM and Zaku 2 parts together and called it the Zanny? Oh my god, that sounds like a slur. That sounds like a slur against Xeon people calling something... Ooh. Like they'd go up to him and be like, oh, you Zannies. Is Spaceoids a slur, or is it just a matter-of-fact statement in Gundam? People say Spaceoids like it's a slur, if they're from Earth at least. Used Zaku 2 and Gundam parts to make the perfect Gundam, which was a sick design. I'm gonna look that up. Perfect Gundam. Ah, that is actually a pretty sick design. Ooh. What's that from, I wonder? Ah, it's from Thunderbolt manga. Ooh, Space Noise is official, but the PWFM, they call them Spacians and sounds like a slur. It's the fact that like most of the time when you hear somebody say it, it's somebody from Earth being like, ah, spaceoids, and it's just like, what? But then they call themselves that, like, on rare occasion, and you're like, oh, I guess it's not a slur? Your Gundam Crossbones, but is literally Mad Max Gundam. And you can see all the MS and mix and match. Before, during the Gundam Unicorn manga, mix and match used by pirates. You hear? Hold up, does the perfect I like how it's called the perfect Gundam, when I very much doubt that it would do very well against, say, the standard Gundam, but I could be wrong. Ooh, but I'm a Zaku fanboy, so I have to see if this thing has a model kit. I'm kind of surprised it doesn't have a P Bandai, in all honesty. That's surprising. Finally, we find something that isn't P Bandai, because it has no model at all. If the Earth Federation wins some on the GQ, that means the Gundam Mark II will be Gun Cannon Mark II, and the Hygog, aka the ripoff Gelgoog, GM of the Federation. That's true. I do like how, you pointing that out reminds me of how I do like how in GQ, because they took away the Gundam from the Federation, it did alter, like, you know, the design path of the Federation. Ooh. I still don't know why, though, their one mobile suit was called the Gelgoog. I don't really understand that. I guess that's to signify that the company that made it was the same people who made the Gelgoog. It feels like something you'd have to read, like, the deeper lore on to know. But it's kind of something you'd want an explanation for in the universe, but it wouldn't have... You couldn't really justify somebody explaining it in universe either. I do like the GQ Gelgoog, though. Ooh. The three-eyed Jim. Also, in Crossbones, you can see a very old Judo Asta with the extremely beaten-up Double Zeta. Which, yeah, I do know that he's in Crossbones. He looks nothing like how I'd expect him when he got older. I mean, I know he's like 14 in the original, but like, dude looks like he walked out of an Astro Boy comic, from what I remember. But I'm happy to see my GOAT in another series, though I hope the best turns out for him, because he had a really good ending in Double Zeta. And I would be somewhat upset if it turns out in Crossbones, it's like, okay, he dies horrifically and, like, achieves nothing. And that'd be very Gundam, but I want one character to have a happy ending. Gundam F91 and Victory Gundam is the most mass-produced Gundam look design. That's true. The Victory Gundam, like I've seen multiple F91s because you just have in Crossbones, like you have like a blue F91 if I remember correctly, which looks really nice by the way. But you have like, but the Victory Gundam just seems like it's that war's gym from what I've seen of it, though I have not seen, admittedly, Victory Gundam yet. But I have seen images and it looks like it's just the mass-produced mobile suit of that war almost. The Psycho Gun Cannon? No, they just made a Psycho Gundam and it looked really weird. It had like its armor fly off. That would have been funny though if the Psycho Gundam in GQ had a giant shoulder cannon. Just inexplicably. The original Gelgoog used it was a 3-company collab. The legs were from the company made the Dom. The body is from the Zaku 2 company, and the beam weapon is from the 3rd company. Oh. So I guess the Gelgoog from GQ is probably also a collaboration piece. Oh, Gunnar, stop pouting. My dog is one of those dogs that will just not want to go out. Like, you can, like, drag him outside and he won't go all day. And then at the end of the day, he's like, I need to go every half hour. Ooh. Happy ending in Gundam? It's possible. Rose might still have a happy ending. Unless she also appears in Crossbones and dies. It's possible. Looking at Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans ending in tears, seeing the last stand of Gundam Full Break City and Gundam Barbatos Lupus Rex. Honestly, the fact that like some people got out of that alive, I'm surprised. I'm surprised that they're like, oh, you know what? They can live on through their children or whatever. It's like, well, Guts didn't have a child. Only Crippled McGee got a child. And it's like, well, Guts doesn't get to live on. Guts just has to die. Do I have... Is this a... No, I don't already have this piece out. Okay. There's some light panel lining that can be done right here. I say that, and then I immediately overflow it. We're just being in character, chat. Don't worry about it. Thinking right now, which is why you can probably hear the tea kettle going off, you know, all that steam. I was thinking of what we should do about this part right here. I think we can tape that off and paint it black. Ooh, but it's a gradient. So painting it might be a little harder than I thought. We have to cut it out if we're gonna want to paint it. We'd have to cut it out to tape it anyways. There we go. They were surrounded and framed as terrorists. I mean, you say framed, but I think some of the stuff they did in the first season could have had them classified that way anyways, to be honest. Yeah, they found an underground cable and then had enough space to get through and let some humans escape. Yeah, but to buy them time to escape, they needed the Barbatos and the Gusion needed to be sacrificed. Full break. is a massive beam rifle. Holy crap. Still not as big as the Nightingale's rifle, though. The Nightingale's rifle is comedically big. Like, the Nightingale's rifle feels like it belongs on a large... Ooh, on a large master grade. It's so big. It's fairly silly. And we'll panel line these. Yes. I can clean it up later. Actually, I'd rather just do it this method. That way I can also do it over here if I do it like that. Or use the panel liner as also a bit of a dye for the rest of the plastic. And therefore it makes the vent stand out that little bit more. Not only the recesses, but the whole thing. That's nice. There we go. There's a little bit of overflow there. Ooh. You like how even when they were retreating with the land roadies, how they were still fighting on? Still gave them one good hit before departing. That is the thing to do. Make them second guess following you. If you have to pull back, make them second guess following you while you do it. See here? I feel like I didn't panel line this one, this part, even though I know I did. Oh, because it's black panel liner on gray pieces. I forgot. Those don't read too well sometimes. I'm probably going to have to do multiple coats to get that effect. Hello, man. Hope you're having a good day. We're just doing some prep right now. Keeping it pretty simple. Normally we only prep for about an hour, but this kit is so big that it's probably just going to be the whole stream is just going to be prep. I don't even think I can get all the prep I need done in one stream. I'm gonna have to do some of the prep off stream at this rate. So to be honest, though this is going to have a lot of prep, it will not nearly be as much prep as if we had built the AT-AT instead. Because there's a lot of... Because even though that's 1/44th scale, I can tell you there's a lot of detail on those Star Wars kits. It is a potato. The Manrodi is a potato. Ooh. I can't wait. Yeah, the Crab and Monkey Man Roadie, I think are like the same thing technically. Or like they're the same kit, I believe. They might not be, but I'm looking forward to the Monkey Man Roadie. Ooh, it looks so interesting, if nothing else. Make mobile suit a potato. Make it white and orange. 2/3 of the Irish flag. What do they mean by this? Technically, you have the roadie from the second season, which is the actual mass production version of like the land roadie. I forget what it's called. That's also technically a roadie. It doesn't look like one. It's not a potato anymore. Ooh. But it's kind of like the ground type roadie is one that doesn't get a lot of love. I don't even think there's a model kit for it, eBandai or not though. Ooh. Actually, I'm gonna look that up. Man roadie. It is a Zagakan space. It got those big claws. Developed into... Don't do this to me. Oh my god, so many ads. That's almost it. No, it's not the Landman roadie. What is it? I know it has like a ground type mass production version. No. The ground type land roadie, the white and blue one, but there's a green mobile suit that doesn't look anything like a man roadie. That's literally a ground version of the man roadie is what I'm looking for. Oh, really? You can get the legs from a weapon set box. How much roadie variants out there? I'm very much confused because I'm not a big fan of Iron-Blooded Orphans. The man roadie is effectively the Zaku-like of the Iron-Blooded Orphans. Technically speaking, the Zaku-like is the Greys, but the mobile suit that looks like the Zaku the most is effectively the man roadie. And there's as many variants, there's not as many variants as for the Zaku, but there's a good number. There's the space variant, there's the ground variant, but then like in the second season, it gets developed into yet another variant. Then there's like the comics, because people like the design so much in the mangas. There's, you know, as we've said, the monkey roadie, which is where like it has a second set of arms instead of legs. So it's a popular kit. There's quite a few. Right now, I'm trying to find... I found the Hakuri roadie, which is a custom. That's... Oh my god. I just want to find the man roadie. It's not technically a man roadie, but it's driving me insane. Okay, we're just gonna... Jesus Christ, why is Gundam Wiki like filled with so many ads? Oh my god. It doesn't have thousands of variants, but for an alternate universe kit, it has a lot of variants. Think of it more like the Leo, how the Leo is... Actually, the Leo's the GM of that universe, but the Leo has a lot of variants because it's the stand-in for the Zaku of that universe. It's like the Leo from Gundam Wing. It has a lot of variants because it's just an easy kit to customize. And most of the variants are just different colors. They're different colors and with maybe different arms or something. Just like the Zaku. Yeah, Fandoms is just not a good site. It runs off of the ads is the problem. That's why I went to that's why I switched over to Brave. get all those blocked. But I do not remember the ads being that bad on Fandom, is the problem. So, iron-blooded orphans, mobile suits. I was so confused because I looked at the mobile suits and it gave me all of the games, all of the mobile games mobile suits. And so I saw those and I was like, those aren't in the anime. I think it is the Garm Roadie. I'm gonna have to double check. It's just... I was on, like, the wiki only... only a few days ago, and I was not getting ads nearly this bad is what is the thing. Like, normally I can be like, okay, like, every time you get to a new page, there'll be, like, a banner ad you have to click through, and I'm fine with that. I was getting, like, redirect ads. Ooh, I was getting pop-up ads. I was getting, like, those kind of ads where you're like, oh, I'm gonna get a virus. Ooh, that's how bad it was, and it was just from navigating the page, not even clicking on anything new. Like, normally I'll put up with the ads, because I'm... Oh, no, this is the mobile game. No, I need Iron-Blooded Orphans. Iron-Blooded... No, I don't need Iron-Blooded Orphans Gecko. I need Iron-Blooded Orphans. Thank you. It's so hard to find anything. It uses the Roadie frame. It can have many different options, and yeah, I do like that about the Iron-Blooded Orphans is how they really lean into the Gundam frame concept, where underneath all the armor is a frame that you can reuse for different designs, and they really make the most of it in universe to get a lot of designs out of repeating the same body shape. Not the Harm Roadie, the Garm Roadie. No, not the stop auto-correcting. Garmazabi, no. Wait, what if it... Yeah. I just wanted to double check. It is the Garm Roadie. I like the Garm Roadie. And last time I checked, it didn't have a model kit. But let's see if it has one now. At the bottom of the page, it usually says if it has any illustrate. No, doesn't look like it has any model kit. That's really disappointing. Might be controversial, but I personally think that the real grade high new isn't as good as the real grade new. I have both, and I'm gonna have to think that over. I have yet to make the fin funnels for my new Gundam, actually. Oh, that's bad. The high new can't stand up on its own, and that's one of the worst things about it. In all honesty, you have to have a stand, even if you want it to stand up. You need to give it a third leg, and it's really annoying. It's a nice kit, but I do like the new Gundam more, because I think the new Gundam is just a very natural evolution of the Gundam line. So I do like how on the back of the high new Gundam, it has an allusion to the... what is it? Like, the bird on its back is effectively taken from the Zeta Gundam. So there is a connection with that, but I think that the new Gundam in general is just better. But for the model kits, I'd have to think about that. Best real grade with the... I don't have the Zazabi, but I hear the shoulders are a bit finicky. Ooh. Well, I have the Zazabi, I just haven't built it yet. As the height is off and you don't get the... That's true, you don't get the rival master grade, but the high grade of the Nightingale is literally meant to go with the real grade, which is a little weird. But if you look on the box art for the Nightingale, it actually does not have the high grade. It doesn't have the high grade Hi-Nu, it has the real grade Hi-Nu on the box art. It's kind of weird in that regard. Ooh. And they're both so big that it's hard to have them together. While with the Zazabi and the new Gundam, it's a lot cleaner to have them together on the same shelf. Yeah, the Garma Zabi. Has a higher rate of betrayal. We just can't figure out why. I've not built the Sinanju because I've heard the Sinanju doesn't look good. I'm gonna be honest with you. Not that, okay, well, let me rephrase that. The real grade Sinanju doesn't look good. The plastic looks bad on the box art. I'm just gonna say that right now. The promotional images on the box, the plastic looks overly shiny in a bad way. However, from what I understand, they took the Mark II Gundam's inner frame and they just reused it for the Sinanju. But the problem is the Sinanju is like 10%, not 10%, but it's like 5% bigger or taller than the Mark II, so it doesn't, its frame doesn't fit the kit itself, so I've heard that's a real big problem with it. The Zeta, I hate. The Zeta, I actually... Let me... Oh, that went badly. I will never... People are just like, oh, it's not difficult. It's just a terrible kit. It's tedious and unrewarding in any way. I don't think I've ever... A Katsuki, but this is the... This is the real grade. Ooh, I haven't talked about this in a while, but this is the real grade Zeta. And what happened is I built it completely, and then when I was done, I grabbed it and broke it in half without even like really thinking about it. I was just like, I'm done. That's just what I did when I finished this kit. And then I took each arm and broke it. I took everything that I could and twisted and broke it with my bare hands because I have never been more unsatisfied with a kit. You think when you're done, you'd be like, oh, I'm done. It was worth it. When I got done, I was empty inside when I built this kit. When I built the Zeta, I was dead inside and I was just like, no. It is not a fun kit at all. Let me look up the... Ooh. I've not heard about the... Akatsuki... I can't say that right. Akatsuki. I don't think you mean that. Okay, that's not the correct Akatsuki because the Akatsuki I just looked up was from Iron-Blooded Orphans. Ooh! I'm gonna guess they reuse the Gundam Mark II for that. Just like they did with the Sinanju. Maybe get this back in the wall. Ooh, I have 3 kits on the wall. I have the ATST 170th scale. I have the real grade Zeta, and I have the high grade Hi-Nu Gundam. All of them are bagged and up on the wall, except for the Hi-Nu Gundam. I don't know where that one is. But all of them are bagged as testaments to how much I hate them. You have the real grade Sinanju. You can fix it up and be decently posable. The main weakness is probably the loose shoulders and flimsy knee. Thing is, because the pre-built inner frame, it's a little more, I know it's a little more difficult to touch them up, but hearing that you can touch them up is nice, that you can make the kit a little bit better. That's the real problem with early real grades, is that to touch them up is actually more difficult than a lot of high grades or master grades, because you just have that, again, pre-assembled inner frame. Return of Angry Merrick PNG. It's every Gundam. It's every Gundam stream at this point. let's get some tape on this. Also, let's close this because it's just open to the air for no reason. I think we're gonna go with yellow for this. So let me get out. I need to get out the pink first. Is it? Ooh, I learned a real good thing you can do is base in pink or red, depending on how you want the yellow to look. We might do red because some of these are supposed to be orange. So for the yellow areas, we will do, well, pink as the base. And for the orange areas, we're going to try to use red as the base. Ooh, they reused the strike old frame. That feels like that's actually a worse decision than reusing the Mark II. You just came in and the first thing you heard was Merrick showing off the Gunpla collection. It wasn't a collection, it was just one kit. Just one very disappointing kit. Ooh. I'm surprised I didn't break... I'm actually surprised I did not break the Zeta Gundam when building it, because I made mistakes and had to disassemble it once or twice. And disassembling that kit is not forgiving. But I managed. Which makes it all the kind of funnier that when I got done with it, I still broke it in half, like I just couldn't stand it. Uses the old real grade seeds. There are so many seed real grades. Ooh. But that also is just the fact that seed, though I might not be a fan of it, it has a lot of fans of its own, which is great. And it makes Bandai a lot of money. Ooh. Because people, again, like seed, good for them. Oh god. I was confused why there were so many, like, when I was looking through the real grades, I was like, I don't know, like, they're like a bunch of, like, real grades that look like they're from the same universe, but, like, what Gundam universe would have this many Gundams that wasn't G-Fighter? Then I learned about Gundam Seed, and I was like, oh, okay. There are so many Gundams and Gundam-like mechs in Gundam Seed. It's a little confusing if you don't already know about it. I was just surprised that you had so many from the same show. It cannot even stand out of the box. Jesus Christ, that's bad. Then main point is Bandai. They made like a very new kit, so why do they reuse the frame to save money, but at the same time it's the Sinanju. Like, if they reuse the Gundam Mark II kit for, like, inner frame for, well, I was gonna say the Zeta Gundam, but that has to transform. But for, like, a Gundam of similar size, or even a mobile suit of similar size, they'd be like, okay. But doing it for, like, a mobile suit that's so much bigger is it's just baffling. It's not just hard to fix, just pop... It's not hard to fix, just pop the hip open and put the dab of super glue on the joint. We gotta wait for the super glue to dry first. Always remember that, kids, if you are thickening a joint. Wait for the super glue and or plastic cement, depending on what you're doing, to dry. I almost forgot to do that once and had to very quickly take the... I put it in and immediately took it out and was like, that was a bad idea. The real grade line came, it started roughly, but modern real grades are pretty good. I have the new, as I said, and the new Gundam real grade is a great kit. Even without the fin funnels, it looks amazing. I need to put those fin funnels on. I have not built them yet. I completely forgot to. The same time oh, did it come out as same time as Seed Hype? So if you can... Oh, so they got the lab rats. That kind of feels... That actually makes me feel a little sad for seed now that I think about it, because they were a lot of early real grades. Ooh, and early real grades don't have the best track record. Why am I so tired? Am I tired? Why is my Oh, because I did not sleep enough. Uh-oh. I started stream early, which is good because it turns out I'm sleep deprived. If you do not know what that means my vision is borderline failing me. It's not the first time I've had a stream where I've been sleep deprived, but it's not a good thing. Because one thing that happens when I get sleep deprived and I'm streaming is my vision begins to fail, and what'll happen is one eye will turn off at a time. Damn it, I need to get this. That's not happening yet, but if we keep going, it's going to happen. Look in Discord, it just posted the great kitbat. Ooh. If we're doing a hand cam, I can probably use my phone instead of having to pull it up on the... What did you do? That's like you did like the... We were talking about the perfect Gundam earlier. You did like the opposite of the perfect Gundam. You made the imperfect Gelgoog. He took a Gelgoog's body and gave it... I don't know what Gundam that is. He gave it Gundam arms and legs, but I'm not quite sure what legs those are from. Okay, sorry I had to take that off screen, but I misaligned the tape. You've been completing the real grade new Gundam for quite a bit now, but the face looks so off in compared to the original design. Let me, actually, it's just right here, so I'll get it. This bright panel line fades. I use a lot of panel lining. It has a bit of a small thing. I should say that to the mic. It's a bit of a small face, but... That is no Gelgoog at all. What Gundam, what legs are those? From what Gundam are those legs from? I have to know. Because I recognize them, but I can't place them. It's one of those things. Bandai is just predictable. It might be good, some newer kits, but also there's a chance that some kits use, that they recycle things, to save some money on old kits. Yeah, that's actually why any high grade from, I think it's high grade 100 to high grade 150 is a complete crapshoot. And I don't mean they're all bad. I mean, if you get it, you have no idea if it's going to be a good or bad kit if somebody hasn't told you it's a good or bad kit. Because there are kits in the like 100 to 150 line that are like kits that should have come out several years ago, but for some reason Bandai will just hold on to a kit and release it years after they designed it. And so, and that era has a lot of kits like that they're just old designs and philosophies and building. And then you just have something like, the Gelgoog Custom, which is ahead of its time. Has a lot of polycaps, but it's ahead of its time. It's such a weird era, but like if you want to really feel how like Bandai will recycle concepts or be a little lazy at times, really those are where it's at. Because again, they'll have like both next generation for the time building designs, and then follow it up with like a kit that was old 5 years before it came out. Oh god, it's a goof with like double O 7 sword limbs. That explains why they're so thin. I was trying to think of why the legs were so thin. Might need the third-party long fin funnel just for the extra faceplate. I don't have my faceplate panel lined, but I can see when I looked at it that it looked like it had a few too many. It looked to me like it had a few too many vents in its mouth, and that they were a little high set. If I go back and panel line it in the future, I'm probably not going to panel line the face just because of that. Ooh, there. Ooh. Oddly. If I knew that it was going to be this in depth, I would have prepped the tape way ahead of time. But I didn't even have the idea to paint, to do anything besides normal panel lining until we open the box, in all honesty. Don't like how to line up the tape. I have to take it off, but out of camera. That tape's still not lined up and it annoys me. Biggest example of P Bandai, Astray, and Astray type F using Master Grade Exia. Jesus Christ. That is... What year was the... I'm gonna look up the Astray and it'll tell me. But I'm just wondering, what year was the Astray? Well... I'm assuming the Astrea is the Astray. Ah! It's not telling me what years those are, but... It honestly wouldn't surprise me if it was like... if it was recently that they did that. That they would recently reuse, like... That they would reuse an inner frame from... Like, even 15 years ago. Or in this case... I think it was 17 years ago. Jesus Christ. Yep. Yep. Ooh. What's that? 14 years ago. So, considering I said that I would not be surprised if they reused it from 15 years ago, I'm not surprised that they reused one from 14 years ago. That is just some of the silly things. I mean, I'm not surprised though, because I know for the black Zaku, for like there's a Zaku Master Grade P Bandai that reuse it, that instead of being like a new model kit, they reuse the they largely reuse the 1990s Comfer for it. So it has like, it doesn't have a complete inner frame because of that. Like they do put new things on it, thank God. It's not just a color change for the Comfer, but it's still, like, the core mold is still the same, which is insane, because the Comfer Master Grade is, like, 30 years old at this point. Mind you, this was when that it's not, like, this Master Grade that I'm talking about, this P Bandai didn't come out this year, but it would have still been, like, 20 years old when it came out. And bot, please go away. Go away, bot. I preferred when I got bots inexplicably after stream. Why are they happening on stream again? Ooh. For like several months, when I'd end stream, I'd get a bot going, hey, and I'd be like, well, how is it, like, how did that keep happening? But now it's on stream. I was a little confused. Where's my palette? I had nothing prepared for today, is what I'm learning. Not gonna bother even looking for my palette right now. Instead, I'm gonna get a paper towel out, and what color are you? Phantom Gray, no. Vallejo, that's blue. That's purple. Crap. I'm looking for black. Okay, and I was concerned that black is the one color I don't keep in the drawer. We have black, though, chat. Yakub be damned. And please be 0.5. You are. Okay. That looks pretty neat. Let's get the accompanying screw out, so we can also do that one. Oh my god, I have to do all the taping over again for this one. Oh, I rushed it, didn't I? Okay. Then I need to do all that taping over again. Ugh. This is the most prep we've ever done on a Gunpla stream. And here I thought the Zazabi had a lot of prep. I also had to tape that one off. Let me grab that actually and hope its limbs don't fall off when I... Its shield fell off. But to get all of the... this is the high grade. But to get all of these black... I had to tape them all off, which took incredibly long. I had to tape each one off so I could paint it without getting overflow. But I think the results are pretty nice of having those stand out a little more. If you ever get this high grade, you're just better off getting the real grade. But if you want the high grade, just be aware its arms and legs fall off like it's nobody's business. I have to be extra careful with him because he's not a hand grenade, but it's concerning how easily his limbs fall off. Back from uploading a picture on Discord, it's kits I've been rebuilding this morning. Okay. Do you collect Advanced Zeta stuff? Advanced Zeta's P Bandai, but there's a lot that I'm interested in, but they almost tickle my interest, but I typically am not that interested in them. Like the Wound War, I almost got, but I decided not to. Shog has not the Wound War, but has like this really big Gundam from Advance of Zeta. I have the Advance of Zeta Hyzak Custom. I have that one. Ooh. Which is right there. This is the only Advance of Zeta kit I have, though, is the Hyzak Custom. But they do have, I really like the redesign that they gave the, I did not have the money at the time, but if I could, I would have the green, like, Hyzak. Sorry, the Hobby, it's not the Hyzak Custom, it's the Hobby Hyzak. This is the Hobby Hyzak, but, Ada also has the Advance of Zeta Hyzak, and I want that. Because that looks really good. I don't care for the Hyzak all that much, but I really like the redesign that they gave it in Advance of Zeta. Yeah, all the kits seem good because they seem like they're actually made from the ground up, usually. I can't say that for all of them. You're not for anything that is a no color box kit and it has a P Bandai in the name. Why? P Bandai is such a questionable decision, especially for... P Bandai would make sense if they used it for, like, lesser known kits. You know, like, if they used it for, like, manga kits, I'd have no problem with P Bandai. Ooh. If it was just like, oh, hey, here's a design that, like, you know, you see one time that exists for like half a second in the background in a background shot, or here's a design that, you know, is only in the manga or something, or here's a variant that's like a really rare variant of the design. I would be fine with that if that was P Bandai, but how they use P Bandai is they're like, oh hey, do you like G Fighter? Well, you can only get G Fighter mobile suits if you if you use P Bandai, and it's like, that's a mainline Gundam like series. I can only get like the Rose Gundam or the Maxter Gundam, which are my two favorite Gundams from that universe. I could only get those through P Bandai. Yes, that's stupid. Like, that's the problem, is that P Bandai isn't just the small things that you think should be, that would be understandable. It's not the niche small things, it's the big things as well. That's why, like, it's so annoying. If it wasn't for that, I'd be like, yeah, I don't really mind that P Bandai is for, if it was for those things that you couldn't mass produce, like, the kits for, it would make perfect sense. If it was for things that you'd want to have, like, pre-orders so you know how many to make ahead of time, it would make sense. But that's not how P Bandai is used. It's how P Bandai is, like, partially used, but it's mostly for kits that should just be mass produced. But they would rather they'd rather reprint kits from the 90s than mass produce kits that everyone wants. And that's why that's why P Bandai is so insufferable. Advance of Zeta stuff's main problem is the crazy amount of spare parts. Ooh, bumping up the price. Oh my goodness. One of the spare parts are for customization, or because even if they're more ground up, they are still being reused for like other kits within Advance of Zeta. I don't think the Hobby Hyzak had really any spare parts, but I could be wrong about that. Nope. P Bandai should just recolor special coatings and stuff like that. Yeah, P Bandai should be either, again, really rare kits, like really rare mobile suits that you wouldn't see everywhere. But like, it's so stupid, like, one of the things on P Bandai right now is a mesher mine layer, and you might be like, what's a mesher mine layer? It's a mesher with 2 attachments on its back skirt. That's the only difference from a normal mesher. It is a mesher with 2 mine layer attachments on its back skirt. And like, the 2 attachments hold like 3, maybe 4 mines each. Why? Like, why is that a P Bandai? Like, why not just make that like an upgrade kit or something, you know? Like, oh hey, no, that would make sense. If you want a mine layer, if you want the mine layer variant of your messer, you have to buy a whole new messer kit. It's just so dumb. Okay, I'll look up to Dom. Oh my god, the Dom Noties. Okay. It's just a Dom with a Paris railgun on its back, which is very silly. Ooh. That is... It is nuts. P Bandai should be something that we consider have a good quality. It's just not about the recycle. That's true. Also, all P Bandai kits should be like really high quality, and a lot of times they are. There's not as much, like, it feels like there is sometimes more quality assurance, but also it balances out because sometimes it feels like there's less quality assurance than on normal kits. It's just weird overall. It's okay. So modularity. So it is for customs and whatnot. It sounds like is why there's so many spare. At least on the mainline Gundam, the TR series, where they can switch limbs around and. Okay, so it is for customs and whatnot, but that does leave a lot of spare, but they still have to print that plastic, so they're. It's a little understandable though that that's a higher price if they're still printing more plastic. There is a kit on P Bandai right now that's like $170 or some crap, and it's like I think it's the Gundam Mark IV. Ooh, don't quote me on that, but I think it's the Gundam Mark IV is on P Bandai right now, and it's like it might not be that. It's either the Gundam Mark IV or a different Gundam. One is like $120. The other one is like $170. Both are really expensive, and I don't know why they're so expensive. Because they're selling bigger kits that are less expensive. So it's not the plastic, it's just the fact that they're exclusive. Ooh. Yeah, it does fly past me. That's the thing, you know, you can do a D's nuts joke, but I'm too stupid to get it. Ooh. That's the thing, you know, I'm just too dumb. You did do a Gamma Me D's nuts, but I'm just too stupid for that. It just flew right over my head. It's my shield. It's my barrier. Ooh. Ooh. I'm like the opposite of Bijou. Bijou, you know, I think it was Bijou where like people had to like figure out how to do how to like fool her into doing a D's nuts joke. Meanwhile, you can do a D's nuts joke with me and it just won't phase. I won't even realize I did it. But there are designs made from the... Oh, that is a fucking voice break. Made from the ground up, which have no spare parts and are generally... Ooh. Yeah. That also probably puts up the price, but actually having Bandai kits that are made from the ground... Having P Bandai kits that are made from the ground up is a novelty that is almost worth the price. Until you factor in shipping, and then you realize, no, it's not. Ooh. I do wonder with the tariffs if the shipping is going to be increased, or if the base price is going to be increased with P Bandai. So if it's going to be like this, everything is just going to be more expensive, or if it's when you go to checkout, they'll like hit you with the increased price. Considering that the tariff is based off of a percentage, the duties of the tariff would probably be factored into the model kit itself. The Gundam Mark V, you think? There's no model kits for the Gundam Mark IV. Ooh. I think you're right. Ooh. I think I skipped, not skipped, I think I undersold it. I think you're right, it's the Gundam Mark V. It's the blue Gundam. It's like a teal Gundam for some reason. Or was it turquoise? Gundam Mark V? Let's just make sure. Okay, well, fine. Let's... Mark V. Why is fandom so useless? 403. What is that even? Forbidden. Vault tech regulations prohibit entry. Only authorized personnel may. This is. How did I get hit by? That's Fallout. I'm on Gundam. How did I get hit? I'm on the Gundam wiki and I just got locked out by a Fallout. By the Fallout wiki. How does that even happen? I have to show you this. Like, look at this. Look at this. This is the Gundam wiki. How does this happen? What is this crap website? What? Oh my, I didn't know fandom could get worse. How is that How is that possible? Oh, Master Grade P Bandai Astray alone is the Exia, but minor changes. Oh my god! I was so confused when it said Vault Tech, and I was like, what company is that? And I literally thought inside my head, what company is that? Like, there's no company called Vault Tech in Gundam. Oh, what do they make? Probably bunkers. Wait a minute. Main antagonist of the Gundam Sentinel novel. It's a fairly beefy mobile suit. Ooh. Okay. It's an antagonist mobile suit, which kind of explains why it kind of departs from the traditional mobile suit design. I did not know it was an antagonist mobile suit, but it explains why it looks a little different than what you'd expect a Gundam to look like. And why it's also turquoise. And mind you, also, I'm on Brave right now, so Brave is literally designed to stop things like what just happened. I can't. What? Okay. The fucking garbage. Oh my god, the one time I used this website on stream and it just keeps. The site just keeps it doesn't even crash. I don't even know how to describe what's happening. I'm really annoyed that I have to do this off stream. Ooh, off camera. Okay. And with this, we can start painting this. Fallout mention. I do find it funny how the band, this might be before some of your time, but the band Fall Out Boy had to change its name to Fallout being two separate words, because Fallout's one word, but they had to change their name because Fall Out Boy is a Simpsons character, and so they had to make it two words. Instead of having Fallout be one word, it had to be two words for the band name, because they would have gotten sued by, at the time, 20th Century Fox, who had who owned the Simpsons. Now they would have gotten sued by Disney. If Disney owned the Simpsons when Fall Out Boy was named, I don't even think them separating the name, separating Fallout into two words would have stopped them from getting sued, though. Disney is horrendously litigious. That's fancy talk for saying that they like to sue people. Let me get out the sticker sheet real quick. Thing is, I don't want to. Ooh, I need to clean that up. That's hideous. Oh, really? Let me get it out real quick. So this part right here, we were supposed to put a sticker on it instead. I hope this isn't too reflective, but we were supposed to put this sticker on it, and that sticker looks awful. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, chat. But I got this out to see if this part right here, what color it's supposed to be. I'm gonna have to look through some of this. I don't know what piece that is the thing. I'm guessing it's a knee joint or maybe an elbow joint. No, it's not the elbow, because I can see this is the, what part of the body are you? Ooh, the thing has been, retconned into the precursor of the Dozen Wolf and the silver bullets. I mean, you're saying it's the precursor of the Dozen Wolf explains the paint job a lot, I'm gonna be honest with you. Average series owned by Disney would be dead so bad or terrible movie. Oh my god. I can't believe Disney just in the early 2000s just decided we're no longer going to make 2D animations. But we already funded Atlantis and Treasure Planet and The Princess and the Frog. Okay, well, we just won't promote them. Then we'll act surprised when they fail and say, well, you see, 2D animation is old. We need to go to 3D animation exclusively. And that's why those movies bombed at the box office, because Disney purposely undersold them. It's the shoulder, okay, it's the shoulder armor. Because Disney purposely undersold their 2D animation. Just to, I don't even know why. I don't know why you would do that, but Disney, literally the house the mouse built, decided animation is for nerds. And that is baffling to me. It looks like it's not painted, but we're gonna paint it. Ooh. Oh god, call me Manning, cause I'm painting. Okay, do we need to tape this off? Yes, sadly. Yes, Merrick, you do not have steady hands. Everything has to be taped off. Oh, actually, while we're doing this, we'll apply... I don't know if we're gonna be able to do it. But we're gonna apply the first coat of paint to this area. Please tell me this doesn't have paint on it. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Okay, there was a little bit of blue paint on that, but it looks like it came off. Where's the brush? Everything is a mess, chat. Everything's just going terribly. Hello, Storm Sorter. Yeah. Wait, there's still a live-action Gundam movie in production? When you said live-action Gundam, I thought you were gonna talk about the live-action Gundam from... Ah! Get off! From the 90s, but I forgot. I forgot about, like, them going for it again. Had they learned nothing from Canada? When Disney buys, I drop it, Yeah. But even Deadpool had to, like, you know, do the time variance authority stuff, and you could tell the writers were like, yeah, let's just like work this in as best we can, but like, it's like, what about what happened in Loki? We just won't reference any of that. We're not even gonna watch Loki. We're just gonna be given like what we need to know about this and just make our own thing. Would be forgotten like every live action. Oh my god. I mean, Gundam already has that though. I don't remember, what is the Gundam live action movie that was already made? What was that called again? I can't remember what that was called. I know the Zaku, like, in it, the Zaku replacement in it was called the Bugu. And I only remember that because the Bugu was used also in Gundam The Origins for a name of a mobile suit. But it's gonna apply some char pink. Because any color that is pink or red in Gundam has to be named after Char. Ain't never gonna hear Amuro Blue. Never gonna hear it, chat. G-Savior, thank you. Yes, G-Savior is the movie which Bandai acts like it doesn't exist. But, like, at the same time, it's like, is it canon? And Bandai's like, is what canon? Is G-Savior canon? What? Well, you didn't finish that sentence. You just said, is canon. You kind of left out, you know, what you're asking is canon. I said, is G-Savior? Is what? What? They just don't acknowledge the existence of it. Lost Gundam media is kind of funny, because it's like, there's so much stuff where it's like, is it canon? It's like, well, Bandai hasn't said no. They just don't acknowledge its existence. Ooh. But they did sell models for it. You hope that Ryan Gosling has Char? Or at least Char clones. You want Ryan Gosling to be a Char and or Char clone just for the he's just like me for real meme. To be honest, Ryan Gosling could pull off the emotional range. Ooh. And even though he's like in his 40s, he still looks like he's in his 30s. Actually, no, Ryan Gosling probably could actually pull off a Char clone. Ooh. And he'll have to wear the mask, but he's not wearing the mask to hide his identity. It's to hide the fact that one of his eyes looks that way, while the other eye looks that way. So who would be Amuro clone in a Gundam live action? I was thinking earlier today how the only Amuro clones I can think of is the main character from Gundam Seed and Jamil from Gundam X. But who would play an Amuro-like character in a Gundam movie is your question. I feel like if it depends how Hollywood it is. If it's being like handled, if Bandai's taking a personal hand in it and they want it to be accurate and they want it like they care about, you know, they care about the story and what's being told, it's gonna be some like it's gonna be some unknown actor or some little known actor. If it's like a big Hollywood production and it has like Bandai's not really doing anything, they just sign it over. They're gonna put Tom Holland. Okay. If it's just, you know, if they just sell off the rights and it's just Hollywood makes whatever they want, the Amuro would be like Tom Holland or something. Or that guy from Dune, maybe. Not saying that's what I want, saying that that's what probably would be happen. How are you? I'm doing good, Jack. Almost called you Jack. John. However, John can be short for Jack, and you might be like, how can John be short for Jack? I don't know. But it can. Actually, no, Jack can be short for John. I don't know how, but it can be. Jack Black is Amuro. I am Amuro. Oh my god. I wouldn't put it beyond. I would not put it beyond Hollywood, in all honesty. Yeah, I am Amuro Ray. Maybe The Rock. Oh my god. No, The Rock would inexplicably play Ryu. Ooh. Ooh, the big fat guy who co-piloted the almost said Gundam, who co-piloted the gun tank. He would be played by The Rock and lose all of his sauce in the process. Because Ryu is the GOAT. But I don't think The Rock would have it in him to fulfill the shoes of Ryu from Gundam. That is one of the best, that is one of my favorite characters in all of Gundam. And he has one of the best deaths in all of Gundam, too. Ryu, my man. Ryu with... He has like a really Hispanic last name, but I cannot remember what it is. Oh. Actually, that's really wide. We need to brush fill that in. Let me get this off. What model? It's the Xi Gundam. Ooh, it's the really, really big Gundam from Hathaway's Flash. But not the one with not the one wearing a turkey, though. I don't know why the Penelope looks like that, but it does. But this is the Xi Gundam. Ooh. It's if you don't recognize the name, let me get box out for you. Okay. It is this one, if you've ever seen it before. Ooh, the box is really big, so I can't really get it farther away from the camera because it's hitting the table. Or building the G. I don't know. Ooh, if they're serious, they'll probably pick Timothy Chalamet. That name sounds really familiar, but I'm really bad with names. Is it the guy from... Oh, Shala. There we go. Show me a picture of him. I despise... Okay, it's a guy from Dune. Okay, I thought it was. I'm just real bad with names is all. Yeah, it is the Dune guy. Yeah, I'm just really bad with names, to be honest. So I just had to double check it when YouTube chat said it. No, firstly, everyone voted, and yes, the AT-AT almost won the poll. However, at the end of the day, the Xi Gundam won. I was rooting for the AT-AT, but it was the Xi Gundam that won in the end. Don't cry over spilled milk. Ooh. Don't do that, Kaze. The G is pronounced as is Xi. For some, it's Greek is the thing. I don't know why it's written like that because it's actually. I was gonna do that on my glove, but then I realized that I have black paint, and black paint doesn't show up at all on my glove. But the Gundam actually. I messed it up a little. But it has like one line, and then it has like two long lines on top and bottom and one in the middle, and that's a Greek letter. Ooh, and that's why it has a weird pronunciation, but I'm just gonna keep calling it the G. What? I can't call it consistently even on my own made up pronunciation. I still need to see, I just remembered, I still need to see Dune Part 2. I wasn't the most impressed with Dune Part 1, so I kind of just didn't bother seeing it in theaters. I feel like that's a little unfair to it. Because a lot of the payoffs in Dune are in the second half of the story. There's nothing to prep there. What did I cut this off wide open? This! What did I cut this off of? That's not a good sign that I immediately lost the piece that we just prepped. I'm trying to find the other... This is definitely a symmetrical piece, so I'm trying to find the other one. Maybe it's not a symmetrical piece, because I think it would be It would be here if it was. And these are the, yeah, okay, so what? Wait, what? Wait. Oh no, these aren't. Where did I get this piece off of? I found the other piece. Okay. My brain is melting a little. I've never had to do this much prep on a high grade before. Not on stream, at least. That's a lie. The first ever Gundam we did panel lining for was the Psycho Gundam, and that had a lot of prep. I'm a dirty liar, chat. Can you ever forgive me? I think Villeneuve isn't going to be doing Dune 3, but they are planning to do Dune Messiah, which I am interested in because I actually prefer Dune Messiah over the first book in Dune. Ooh. I found Dune Messiah to be a more tight and focused story overall. Ooh. Ooh. The thing is that a lot of people in Dune, like, the hardest thing, and I do think this is a bit of a problem in the original Dune, is that though I like Dune Messiah, the issue is that I don't think Frank Herbert did the best job at communicating his message in Dune. Because he wanted to have a story that, like, deconstructs and refutes the hero's journey. But he kind of... like, he both does and doesn't do that in Dune, and it's a little bit complicated. I'd have to check my notes, but a lot of people sympathize with Paul, even though Paul in Dune effectively is a slave to fate. He's a hero in the hero's journey who can see his fate, but instead of accepting it, he surrenders to it. So he's kind of a lamentable and sad figure in that regard. But that didn't really get across in the story. So Frank Herbert was like, okay, I'll get across to you that Paul has no agency, that he is just a kind of dirtbag, and the moment he has a chance to abandon all of his responsibility, he will, and he does. Ooh. But also, I know a lot of people don't like that about Dune Messiah. I like that about Dune Messiah, that it just ratifies the fact of how bad of a person Paul is. But a lot of people build up Paul just like they did with the book. So if they saw Paul turn out to be the person he is, they'd be like, wait a minute, that's not how I interpreted him. Even the OG actor thought it was the hero's journey, white savior trope. Yeah. Ooh. It's kind of funny because I actually saw a video recently where somebody said that, like, Paul becoming the Messiah of the Fremen, the leader of the Fremen, is just lazy writing and it's just a plot convenience. And it's like, no, Paul being the warrior king of the Fremen is explained as him fulfilling a prophecy created by the Bene Gesserit to manipulate the Fremen. Like, that is clearly explained in the story, and somehow people just don't see that. They're just like, oh, he just becomes the hero because of some random prophecy. It's not a random prophecy. It's a prophecy designed by the Bene Gesserit, for which his mother is a part of. Kind of interesting how little people actually retain from the story. Ooh. Yeah, I know Dune 3 would be Dune Messiah. I just say Dune Messiah because it's easier for me. You don't need to apologize. I can tell you, whatever you said, I was not offended by. I don't think I've been offended this whole stream. That's not a challenge to offend me, by the way. I don't know what I'm doing here, but I think we're gonna paint this blue. I'm getting better at the taping. As basic as that might sound. I actually kind of like the fact that I'm using the gloves because I'm not getting oil on the tape from my hands. And so the tape is actually sticking to the plastic better. Even if it's kind of sticking to my fingers a little bit more. One thing I'm not grateful for is how when the tape adheres to itself like it is right now, I need to get out the tweezers to peel it back. Sorry, I will step it up. No, that's not... What did I... Opus, I said do not. I said it was not an invitation. I still find describing the end of Dune Messiah funny. If you don't want spoilers, I'm about to describe the end of Dune Messiah. When I'm done, I'll do this. I'll put my hands together. Okay, so I'm starting now. And in Dune Messiah, it's just funny to me because if you describe it if you've read Dune Messiah, you're like, it makes perfect... It's one of those things that makes perfect sense if you're reading the story. But if you haven't read it before, you're just like, this is this gobbledygook science fiction. Because what happens is Paul is blinded, but he can still see because he has prescience. So he's pretty much like a supercomputer calculating everything around him. And he doesn't see as much as he just knows what is going to happen, so he might as well be able to see. However, then when his son is born, his son also has prescience. And somebody with prescience cannot calculate somebody who has prescience also, because it would be like a supercomputer calculating on the equations of a supercomputer it doesn't have the formulas for. And so he goes blind when he sees his son. And what he does is when he sees his newborn son, and when I say newborn, I mean he was born like 5 minutes ago, he's like, ah yes, my son, you have the prescience. You are sentient while also like literally 5 minutes old. I give you the entire empire. I'm gonna go walk into the desert and die. And it's just like, Paul, you absolute bitch. You just like, you couldn't wait a week before doing this. He's like, nope, I'm gonna fulfill the, like, it's the culture of the Fremen. I have no purpose in this society anymore. I am just an old man with nothing to give to the Fremen. And it's like, Paul, you abused and manipulated the Fremen almost your entire life, so like for the majority of your life at this point. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you never cared about Fremen culture before this in any serious sense. You're just using it as an excuse to literally pass off like the responsibilities onto a 5-minute-old child and then walk into the desert to end your life because you just want an excuse and you finally found it after all these years. You're just a disgusting dude. And he's like, don't care, walking into the desert to die. Bye! Ah, that's the spoiler. Oh my god, the worm man. Oh my god. Yes, how Leto, is weird because he names his son after his dad. But also, he also had a son called Leto in the first book. But then Leto the second is like his second son, not his... I don't know why he's not Leto the third, unless I'm forgetting, but I'm pretty sure the guy who gets turned into a worm is Leto the second, even though he's Leto the third, because I don't know why. But yeah, Paul's son walks into the desert, finds a bunch of baby sandworms, and is like, I'm gonna put these on my body. They will consume of my flesh, but then they shall become like a big shroud around me, and I shall become a man-worm. And it's like, yeah, this is like, what is this? Like an 80s sci-fi? Checks out. However, because he becomes a big man-worm, he also produces his own spice, which is how you see the future in Dune. So he's just constantly seeing the future, you know? Like, it's effectively like, imagine every time your body, like, this... Imagine your body produced cocaine naturally. However, the cocaine also gave you future sight. That's what he did. he turned himself into a worm, so he's always high on drugs. Honestly, cannot blame him. Man made the right choice. Twitch, that's a joke. I know that, you know, you like to ban people for making drug jokes. That was a joke. I'm not saying people should actually put worms on their bodies and become worm people to be constantly high on drugs and seeing the future. Okay? Don't ban me, bro. Still waiting for the perfect moment for me to clip. Ooh. You can't wait for it, man. Well, you kind of have to wait for it, actually. You can't wait for the perfect moment. Just find the moment you like. But let's put this down. Hey, whatever. I literally was trying to put it the other way, but whatever. I guess it just has to be like that. Whatever. I'm not upset. I'm not upset. I'm not livid. I forgot to tape this area. I now have to stop everything again so I can tape this part of the gunpla. Wonderful. Dune is a very, very silly universe. One of the things I find funny about Dune, though, on like a world building level, is how nobody knows how to execute combat in Dune. Because in Dune, like, they have personal shields which make ranged combat pointless. And you're like, oh, so everyone has to like fight using knives and swords and whatnot, something that could be slow enough to get through the shields, yes. But on the planet Dune, shields aren't used because shields attract the sandworms, because the sandworms hear the frequencies and are attracted by them. Which raises the question of why the hell I haven't seen the movie yet, but I've seen the clips, and I'm just really confused. Why aren't the Harkonnen guards, the Harkonnens who are guarding the sandcrawlers, why are they wielding swords and not guns? Why are the Fremen killing them with swords and not guns? Because none of them have shields on, because you can't have shields on in the desert, because it makes the sandworms go berserk. So I'm really, like, there's one guy with a gun. I've seen the Spice Crawler raid. There's one dude with a gun, and then there's another dude who's in an ornithopter, which just think of it like a helicopter, but, you know, a dragonfly instead for some reason. And there's a dude in an ornithopter with, like, a scatter rifle or something. I don't know what it is. He has, like, a shotgun turret. And it's just like, why doesn't everyone just have a gun in this situation? Like, I understand why in other circumstances. I understand maybe why the Fremen don't have guns, because, you know, the resources to upkeep the guns in the desert might be a lot, but the Harkonnens don't have that problem. The Harkonnens could absolutely outfit everyone with guns. The Fremen might not have the resources to give everyone guns, but why don't the Harkonnens? Ooh. Like, it's a little weird. I remember in the mini-series from the Sci-Fi Channel, they just have people using guns. Like, they just even try to, like, have, like, melee combat in that show. They're just like, oh yeah, the duel at the end of Dune, yeah, that's gonna be like melee combat, but no, people are gonna be running around with guns. Ooh. And it's honestly because I feel like the shield technology in Dune was like partially thought up to like justify the dueling culture in Dune. But you already have feudal houses. I don't think you needed to like have the shields there to justify the dueling. Ooh. Again, it is weird how like Herbert himself wrote into the book how like, oh, they have these shields, but they're not really used on this planet anyways. But people still use the melee combat on this planet even though they're not using shields. It's just, it's all very weird. They probably couldn't be bothered. A few Fremen isn't gonna be bothersome enough to equip everyone with guns and upkeep them. Maybe. I feel like a explanation could be the fact that because Dune is so post-gun, that, like, guns are just rare in general because everyone has shields, so maybe that's it. It's just the fact that they just don't have guns to begin with to use against the Fremen. Ooh. So it could just be that. They'd have to make more guns that they just don't have. Where do you put the clip on Discord? You can just put it in Stream Talk if you have a clip. Ooh. Yeah, because the Discord, I think, has had some name changes, but yeah. Stream Talk is just where Stream Suggestions used to be. It's the same chat, in fact. Just renamed. I feel like that was part of the world building, similar to why there was no advanced machines. Ooh. I know the reason why there's no advanced machines is because the thinking machines were used by other people to enslave them. Originally it was like, originally in Dune lore, it was the thinking machines enslaved humanity, but Frank Herbert didn't like that concept, so he recontextualized it as instead of being machines enslaved humanity, as humans used thinking machines to enslave humanity, and it was mythologized in the lore of Dune as the machines themselves enslaving humanity. However, then his son Brian Herbert started writing for Dune, and then he made it so that no, it was the machines that enslaved humanity all along. So, yeah. God knows, like, what that lore is anymore. Wasn't good enough. Yeah, the Fremen were just, hanging out in the desert, and then, Paul came along and were like, hey, I hear you have a 1,000-year-old prophecy. Ooh, that was... Ooh. Actually, I feel like one of the... I'm just gonna cut myself off there, but... Thinking about the 1,000-year-old prophecy, learning how the Bene Gesserit work and how Reverend Mothers have all of the memories of the past Reverend Mothers really makes it, like, even more insidious. Because it's not like, oh, hey, here's a bunch... Like, the Reverend Mother who's leading the Fremen into the prophecy that is used by Paul and his mother to conquer the Fremen knows that Paul and his mother are manipulating the Fremen, and she's in on it. She has all the history of, like, how the Fremen have been manipulated for, like, 1,000 or several thousand years by the Bene Gesserit. And she's like, yeah, I'm also a Bene Gesserit, and I'm cool with it. I know every time we have screwed these people over, and I know how we're about to screw them over again, and I'm down for it. The Bene Gesserit are just evil. Ooh. You only got one clip. Oh, that's a really... Actually, you say you only have one clip, but that's... I don't know why they're on their stands like that. I feel like they look like they're on their stands backwards, but you also posted some more pictures on of some of your kits, I see. And... Is this dry yet? Not quite. You know what? Actually, what I want to do is put this lid back on so it doesn't dry out. What we're going to do is we're going to do some cleanup on some of these kits that had some overspill, while I examine for what kits I'm going to have to do even more touch-ups on. See here. I'm going to need the lighter fluid, and I'm going to need a little bit, not a little bit, I'm going to need a paper towel. You fold the paper towel up once, twice, thrice. Why am I shaking up the lighter fluid? Don't don't need to shake up lighter fluid, Merrick. It's lighter fluid, it's not rice milk. Not a milkshake, man. Okay. Get a little bit of lighter fluid, and now we can just wipe off. Wow, we just... Hold up. We need a panel line, then we can clean it up. Okay. And then... this side. There we go. Clean it on up. There we go. I went to check the clip, but YouTube is doing that one thing where while I'm still live, I can't look at the clip. So I muted myself for a half second to check it, but that's annoying. Half the time when I am clipped, I can only check it until... I can't check it until stream is done. I don't know why YouTube is like that. But I do appreciate the clipping, because it makes it really easy. It makes it a lot easier to find the clips when I need them for editing. So I do appreciate the clipping a lot, Kay. It is nice how this is cleaning up. I don't appreciate the smell of the lighter fluid. But like maybe I should be wearing a mask. Chat, how dangerous is lighter fluid fumes to inhale? Well, considering that Zippos cause brain damage, I should be wearing a mask, shouldn't I? Oh my. Sadly, I don't have gray. But I do know what you're saying, how the black can stand out a little too much. Personally, how I don't have them kind of deep in the shelf, so I don't mind it too much, but yeah, I didn't see what you mean. I just only have black panel liner, though. So, Droog out of context. Cocaine! Oh my god. Speaking of masks, does your face hurt? 'Cause it's killing me! Ah! Says Opus. And then he proceeded to laugh like Squidward, his nose going in and out. His nose like going in and out like an accordion. Could you imagine a human nose doing that, actually? That'd be nightmarish if somebody's nose moved like a Squidward when he laughs. Come on. Come on. I actually have a good, like, breathing mask for this kind of stuff, too, that I should be wearing. I think it is, Yeah, it's not good for me. Normally, I don't use this much, I don't pour out this much lighter fluid at a time. I just kind of messed up and poured it on the wrong part of the... I poured it in the center, and there's a bunch of it now, just kind of in the air. Ooh. So normally, it's not enough to be a problem. I just made it a problem like a fool. But I believe this is the same stuff in Zippos, so in the future I should be more careful because... Mind you, you have to, like, directly inhale the stuff from Zippos, but Zippos can get you high. Do not do Zippos, though, because Zippos will cause brain damage immediately. If you take, like, one sniff directly from a Zippo, you will immediately get brain damage. Ooh. It's like people who inhale aerosols. Aerosols also will give you brain damage. I don't know why people do drugs that give you brain damage, but they do. Ooh. I suppose they thought having a crippling addiction that destroys your social life wasn't, was a little too safe, was a little too, was a little too tame for them. They want to never be able to come back from this shit. Let me also close the lighter fluid so it's not just fuming up the room. And you know what else I'm gonna do? I'm gonna turn on the fan. Hope that pushes the air away from me. I'll be back. Ooh, totally forgot breakfast. You should get that, man. Okay? You don't want to forget the brekkie brek. More like brunch at this point. No, it's a second breakfast, man. You're a hobbit. Embrace your roots. Black is fine in most situations, but some kits, like the real grade unicorn, I can see how gray would work better on the real grade unicorn immediately, like, just thinking about it, with crazy surface details and... Yeah, because there's so much surface detail, but there's also a lot of off-whites in the unicorn, so the gray would actually complement those off-whites a little bit better. If I'm remembering correctly, at least. And then... Nice to be streaming so much earlier. At normal stream time, it'd be like 1 o'clock in the morning, if not almost 2. And I got a lot of clipping done today as well. So, I'm also happy about that. If I can keep this work ethic up, I should be able to have at least the prototype for the clip compilation up by next week. And if I get done with it that quickly, I'll feel very proud of myself. Ooh. Gonna have to redo that part. I get more music for the playlist. I think that's dry enough for me to apply the yellow coat now. I should also get... I'm gonna actually put on... I saw you saying how giving advice in chat. I should get some both gray and brown panel liner. Because black is a good neutral panel liner, but black is just always just going to be like straight lines. Just solid lines. It's never going to complement most things. It'll complement the form of the piece, but it won't complement the colors. If you want to complement colors, as you've been saying, you're going to want gray, brown, something that's a slightly different tint than just black. Black for cool colors, gray and dark for gray and white off. Okay. We're now going to hope... Oh, wow, yeah, that... Ooh, oh. Hold up, I need to mix this paint real quick. But we're going to apply the yellow coat over these pieces and hope that we have waited long enough for it to dry. It looks like it's dried pretty fast, so I'm hoping it has. I'm hoping we are correct on that. God, but there's so much I'm gonna have to do off stream. Because there's like these little pieces here that I'm gonna have to tape off. Ooh, there's like a little divot there I'm gonna have to tape off. These pieces, there's a divot here that's covered by the tape that I'm gonna have to remove the tape and do it. But I want to do as much as I can on stream, just like the building. Mixing pain is a real pain. Because I just have to do this. Because if you shake it, you can create a lot of bubbles, and it's really bad. You just have to do a vortex, and look at that. Now that's real nice. Ooh. The paint was completely separated. I don't think I showed that on camera, but like you could see how like the ink and the base that the paint is like sitting in were completely like two bodies. Ooh. So I apparently have not touched this in a long time. Now that I think about it, I probably haven't used this paint since I did the Zazabi. Normally I'd thin out the paint a little, but with yellow I've had such bad experiences with it that I'm just going to let it be thick. And I'll just use whatever happens here as a learning experience for the future. Sadly, I seem to have shaken it a little more than I would have wanted to, so there are a little bit of air bubbles I have to get out. That's another thing I don't like about the yellow paint, is that the yellow paint is a little bit thinner. And so... Uh-oh, I just realized I messed that up. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back and fix that later, though. Hopefully I can fix it. I forgot to tape here, so I'm gonna have to go back with the X-Acto knife and clean it up later. But while we're still here, let's see how these came out. Ah, there's overflow. Oh, the whole reason I did this was so there wouldn't be overflow. Ugh. Okay, so... Ugh, that's hideous. I'm gonna have to clean that up real bad. Luckily, these are two flat surfaces, so I can use the X-Acto knife and the sand and the sanding sticks. Oh god. Well, let's hope that these wings do better, or whatever you'd call these. The flight system. A tab of paint to the runner tag when you'd better. Check dryness on the tag. Not having to pray. Actually, I'm actually gonna try something a little bit different. Okay. I was actually first put it on a paper towel, then here, but thing is, yellow is so thin. Again, I'm just going to use this as a learning experience, but the tag thing is good for definitely other paints. Thank goodness these are on flat surfaces, so even if I overpaint, I can just clean it up relatively easily. Thanks for the advice. I'm gonna guess this one is gonna turn out better than that one, because this one I definitely overdid it. What kind of tape did I use? It's pretty much just tiny masking tape is all it is. It's hobby tape, but it's literally the same stuff you use while painting, like your house or something. Like, it's even the same color. Ooh. It's just masking tape. I just didn't push it down well enough and seal it off correctly, so it overflowed. Ooh. I put it on, but I forgot to do effectively. I forgot to go like that after putting it down, so there's a good chance all of the tape is gonna have overflow because I forgot, again, to push it down. Ooh. That's also what this is for, a learning experience. I make the mistake so you don't have to. Speaking of gray paint, I just had an idea. I don't know if I should be using... This gray paint seems like it's too close to this, so let me get something else out. I feel like some of that might be nice here. And I don't think I'm skilled enough to do this, but... This is like a vent, and I don't know how well this is good. Yeah, you can see it through the, like, shininess, even if it's not there. But there's, like, a deep recess here. And then there's, like, and it rises to be, like, level with the rest here. And I'm kind of wondering if I have the skill, if I could paint this as gray and then this part as black. Ooh. I'm thinking of doing that. Oh, the yellow is setting well enough. Not quite. I'm probably gonna have to do another coat of yellow. Ooh. Which I had to do with the Zazabi as well, though. But I think because I have that base coat down with the yellow and pink, I can actually be a little bit more reserved with the follow-up layer. I just do not like yellow paint. Doesn't matter if it's gun. It doesn't matter what brand it is. Yellow paint is always super thin. I think that's all the prep we have. Ooh. Like, there's some more prep, but that's prep I'm gonna do off stream because it's really, really tiny stuff. Let's see here. What time are we at? Oh my god, I wanted to, like, start on some building. I wanted to build the inner frame of the chest, as you can see here. We're already at 3 hours. Okay, so I guess we're gonna have to call it there, actually, and we're gonna have to build it, hopefully on Wednesday and Monday, but hopefully that will be long enough to get it done. But I think I'm gonna have to call it there. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more of experimentation off stream. I'll definitely do that tag trick with the second coat of yellow. Thank you for telling it to me. But we have had the longest prep we have ever had on this channel, and may ever have on this channel. I do have a table to the side to put stuff, but the problem is right now that table has this box on it. So I might have to get an extra table because this kit is so big. Last time I could just have the table, and then I could have some sprues here that I was actively using, like sprues right there, and then the ones I weren't using I had on the table, but I might have to consider an extra, like, table. It's just a little tray table. Thanks for the stream. Oh, dude, I hope you liked it. If you're new here, you know, follow along for more. Let me move the mic. I'm going to look for a place to send you guys off to. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I use this table for like the sprues that I'm actively like cutting, or I will like take sprues that like are kind of repetition or can get confused with another sprue, and I'll separate them. But let me look for a place to send you beautiful people off to. I'll start with YouTube to link you guys out, because that's the first thing that came up. Let's see here, chat. Who's doing what on YouTube? Sadly, I'm just not subscribed to anyone who builds on YouTube. Who builds after me. Ada builds, but Ada always streams before me is the issue. I'm gonna link you out to... Oh crap, I messed it up. To Panthara from HoloLive, because she's drawing. And that's still in the arts. Well, I mean, model building is in the hobby, but I feel like that's close enough. I'm gonna send you to Panthara. It looks like she's drawing chibis of other HoloLive people, it looks like. Yeah, she's doing a little GG right now. So there you go for... There you people go. And for Twitch, let me see where I can send you off to. It says there's only like 2 people on Twitch, so I'm just going to link you out. Can I link you out to Komori? Oh, Komori is doing the new... she's doing the new expansion for Peak, which we did a collab with her about 2 weeks ago. So here is Komori. And if you want to see the new Peak update, you can go check her out. And, you know, we'll be back on Wednesday. We might stream a little less, so I can't say if we'll be back tomorrow for Tuesday. But regardless, I wanted to tell you guys, have a great day, a wonderful life, and remember, don't lose your head. That is not the correct screen. Wait a minute. That's the correct screen. Okay, have a good night, everybody. Oof. Cannot wait to get started on the actual building of this when Wednesday comes around. My goodness, this took a while. And thanks for all the advice, Fat Fam.